I have been reading more comics in the last few weeks than I've read maybe in the last year. And surprisingly enough, I'm reading more DC Comics than I think I've read in maybe my lifetime. I am just really digging what DC Comics is doing for the most part. I mean, here's three comics that I recently read. Two of them were really good. The other one was Plastic Man. So anyways, I read Hawkman #1. I was determined that I probably was going to hate this book, but I was at Gods and Monsters, a comic store in Orlando, and I felt obliged to pick up something while I was there, so I picked up Hawkman #1, and here it is. So I liked it, and I'm going to talk about it for just a few minutes if you don't mind. So this is a new launch of Hawkman. I heard it was coming out of the Dark Knight's Metal event, which I did not read. I wasn't really interested in at all. So again, going into this book, I felt that it was going to have a backstory that I knew nothing about, and that was not the case at all. This is a fresh start. This is what a first issue of a comic should be. It's a brand new start. They give you everything you need to know about the character. Let's jump in. Boom. So it opens up, and it has this great, the whole book is kind of this journal entry by Carter Hall, who's Hawkman. It says, "I am Carter Hall. I am Hawkman. I am an archaeologist, a scholar, a preservationist of history. More than that, I am history. I've reincarnated across time, stretched back to the dawn of man. I ruled as an ancient Egyptian prince, battled as a medieval knight, dueled as an Old West gunman. Yet lately I am plagued by the thought that the subject I know the least about is myself, that pieces of history are missing. There remains only one truth that I know to be certain. I am made to soar." And it has this great splash page. I love a comic that opens with a solid splash page. This is a great splash page. You see the character's wings. This is off to a good start already. So we jump in, and Carter Hall, the Hawkman, he is in Greece, and he's checking out this ancient, I guess kind of archaeological find, which is tied to Gorilla City. So it's already steeped in the DC universe, but it gives you everything you need to know. This is kind of the Jim Shooter edict that every comic can be somebody's first comic. And this really sets the stage. Because like I said, if you've never read a DC Comics before, you have no idea what Gorilla City is, this gives you everything you need to know. The only thing that took me off guard was, I thought, wow, the artist really did a horrible job drawing his wings here. But it turns out, I didn't know Hawkman's wings retracted. So I learned something about the character right off the bat. So he's in Gorilla City, and he's looking for, I don't remember what it was called. It was a conch of something or other. Let's see. Well, here it is. He finds it. Oh, it's the Nautilus of Revealment. That's what it is. The Nautilus of Revealment. It's an artifact. He's kind of like the winged Indiana Jones of the DC universe. He takes it, and this giant stone gorilla comes to life. It's a great action sequence. It's very cinematic. We'll jump back into the action here, and look at this great splash page. That's what comics do best. It's art, it's story, it's merged together. I love this. I love what they're doing with this book. Hawkman's got the Nautilus. His wings are popping back out. The gorilla's going after him. And it's this great chase. Is this? I think he calls it a stone golem. It comes after. Return the Nautilus or perish. It's great. And there's a little humor interjected. How about I borrow it for a week and bring it back, thief? So that it's a great chase scene as this giant gorilla is chasing him through this old city. He goes underwater. I can't say enough about how much I enjoyed this introduction in the first part of this comic. This really, again, a character I knew nothing about, cared very little about, Hawkman. They establish him as this great character. And so he's chasing him. Paris, you're a guardian golem. I respect that. Thief! Too bad for you. Only one of us has wings, and the golem sprouts wings. How great is that? And it takes to the air, flying after him, forcing Hawkman to do what he doesn't want to do and destroy the golem. So he smashes it in its, hey look, Justice League. Smashes it in its eye, and it falls to pieces, and Hawkman has recovered the Nautilus. What does he need the Nautilus for? That's what we find out. This is great. It's very Indiana Jones, jumping from location to location. We find ourselves in London. And Carter Hall, is that you? Since the last time I saw you, I heard you died twice. You look well. Good to see you, Xanadu. Shop must be doing well to afford rent on Dean Street. I'm assuming Dean Street's a real place that's expensive. But this is Madame Xanadu. Madame Xanadu was introduced to the DC continuity back in 1978 in a book called Doorway to Nightmare. I think it was the first issue of that series. I'm not sure. I have to check. And then she had, I remember the Madame Xanadu one-shot from 1981. And then that's kind of, I guess she was involved in the Crisis, because after the Crisis on Infinite Earth back in, I think that was 85, 86, she became kind of part of the Spectre's line of comics. And throughout the 80s and the 90s, she was kind of tied to the character of Spectre. And then she actually had her own Vertigo series. And ultimately, she was when the New 52 rebooted everything, she was part of the Justice League Dark. And now they're bringing her into Carter Hall's Hawkman. So they're in this mystic shop. And she takes him back into her kitchen because really magic doesn't need a mystic shop. Magic can just happen anywhere. So she agrees. She's going to use the Nautilus to help Hawkman find out what he's missing. She makes a deal that if she does this, she gets to keep the Nautilus afterward. He's fine. So again, this is great dialogue. I'm not going to read it all to you because you get the book and read it yourself. It's that good, but it's solid written dialogue. The art's a little rough, but it's a comic, and this is great comic book art. It really tells the story. So she's going to make the Nautilus work for him. Pours his blood into it. That's a little gross, and then he's sucked away into another dimension or something here. And here we reveal that all the Hawkmen that we've seen in the past of DC Comics have all been Carter Hall. And and it isn't just Egyptian mythology, it's other planets, other Hawkmen on other planets. That's been him. Hawkman on Krypton, that was actually the same spirit of Carter Hall, because he was Cartor of Krypton. Or was it Carter All of Krypton? He never knew existed. So they've rebuilt Hawkman's backstory right here on this 2-page splash, and it's great. Again, knowing nothing about the character, not enough to really consider myself an expert. Here they give us what we need to know. I'm not going to go past here because it sets up the next issue of the series. I don't want to spoil it, but I recommend that everybody check out Hawkman #1. I'm sure hopefully your local comic shop still has a few on the shelves. You should try to track this book down. I don't believe issue 2's come out yet. When it does, I'm going to grab a hold. Maybe it came out this week. I got to check. But I'm definitely going to get a hold of it, adding this one to my pull list this week. Hawkman #1, I'm recommending. Can't recommend it enough. Up next, I'm going to be talking about Man of Steel. And man, it's going to pain me to talk about Plastic Man, but I'll try to do a video about Plastic Man. This book just did not hit the mark for me. It's Gail Simone. Maybe she just had a bad day. Maybe this isn't the character she should be writing, but this book just really missed the mark for me. Like I said, Man of Steel's coming up. Just read Hawkman. Also, want to tell everybody, Cosmic Times, head to the Cosmic Times website right now and go up to the Cosmic Shop and pick up a copy of Sugar Boogers Issue 3, The Variant. For anybody that does it from now until the 12th of July, 2018, anybody who goes to our Cosmic Shop and picks up Sugar Boogers, The Variant of Issue 3, not the regular Issue 3, I'm going to throw in an Issue 2 variant and an Issue 1 variant. So for the price of the Issue 3 variant, you're going to get 3 variants. These both were retailer variants. They were shipped on limited quantities to retailer. That's Issue 1. That's Issue 2, and this is Issue 3. So this is kind of just something I'm putting out on Facebook. If you're thinking about picking up the Issue 3 Amazing Spider-Man variant of Sugar Boogers, do it before July 12th, because I will toss in these other variants as well. So that's right. So head to CosmicTimes.net, pick up 3 variants for the price of 1. Also, here, give me this stuff around. Head to your local comic shop and pick up Hawkman #1 if they still have it on the shelves. Ask about it. Maybe they can reorder it for you. And again, if you haven't been reading Man of Steel, you've been missing out. So check that out. Hawkman, Man of Steel, Plastic Man. Anyway, so check out Hawkman and Man of Steel at your local comic shop. I'm going to read some more comics and get back to work. So until next time, stay cosmic.